Welcome back to Indian Trace. This is really going to be amazing. It's the second time I'm trying it, so I'm going to have to just pretend I haven't said anything. The video didn't work. But what you're looking at here is just a supreme cleanup from the week. It's just, that's a week of display quality pieces that I'm going to move on out. And a lot of these, as you'll hear me mention, I'm just going to find a new home for. I'm not going to keep them all. I don't ever. And I have so much other material that I'm not displaying here on this video. So I go up to Saturday. I usually go Saturday to Saturday, what have you. And today I found another handful at High Rise, and these are two pieces from High Rise of quartz. They use quartz all the time. Look at this piece. I think the natural light will do us justice. I've tried to stir myself up in thankfulness for the quartz crystalline and the variations of milky, smoky quartz, rose quartz, vein quartz. What a good material they used around here. That's just a fun piece to find today. I like that piece. But then again, all these points right here, sort of the thing that's responsible for just making these possible, for really working them out and making it possible for them to use stone points to secure the food for their life, was this right here. So in this year, I could say that these have become so much more valuable to me. I was so happy to find it today because it was perfect. And you can tell the wear. Hopefully the light's good. Around the whole edge of this. Look how it fits in the hand. Absolutely on purpose, worn out around the edges. Just flaking and spalling stones to get into workable chips that they could make as arrowheads. And just look at the front and the nipple of that rock. Just completely worked off. You can see how they held it in their hand. Just a great hard stone. Worked right off the edges to where they're flat. And just feels great. This is a great piece, a great example of the hammerstones right here in eastern North Carolina. So I'm always happy to find those. Scooped that up today and was just happy as could be about getting out there earlier in the morning just to spend a little time. But this, I want to share with you just a little bit about the sites and whether or not I'm going to find a new home for some of these, and just a close-up of eastern North Carolina's stone material for ancient hunting points. Great, great stuff. Let's just go around clockwise and zoom right in here. This piece was found way out at a hard-to-reach site that I don't get too often, but I saw it was ready and just made the effort to run a little extra distance to get there. I'm going to find a new home for that, but that's a really great piece. Just a bifurcated piece. And going right around, this is a great piece that I actually was able to turn up at the Lookout. And the reason I say that is there have been 2, 3, 4 other fellas. I missed it totally. Just couldn't get to certain sites. And I'm sure some other people were really rewarded. But I went there just to check up and to make sure, and I found a piece. Was this piece. I'm going to find a new home for it. I love natch points like that, though. And look at this unique piece. Crystal tip. If I can show you this, it is worked off on the back side. It's not broken at all. There we go. Let's see if this focus works. No, it's not working real good. Sorry about that, but it's worked off. That's a pretty unique point right there. I'll probably find a new home for that. I have so many variations of that. I think they're great. Just something good to share. This is going to be a keeper just because I love points like this. Another one I found out in Site 7 that I don't get to that often. What I mean by that is this point was found, and I don't know if I'm getting bleached out with the natural light. I think it's doing a good job. With this point, so that was pretty much the same land area. And look at this unique piece. Found out at Saponi. Was just happy as could be about that. Saponi that day really put out some good pieces just to give you the way the rock worked. It's nice, isn't it? Variations of quartz. Then yesterday at High Rise, this is going to be on the video before this, so I won't take a lot of time with it. Just an incredible piece. Some of you like it really thin. This is thin as can be. Rhyolite. But just a great point to find. I mean, they just last the ages, no less than 50 years of high industrial farming. It survived. Here's a great point from Crosslands. That was on video, so I won't take too much time with it. This is a unique piece that wasn't on video. And I say unique because I don't find a whole lot that are just ground as heavily and as smoothly as this one at the base. If you can see it here, let's see if we can get a good look at it. I don't know if the focus is going to come in on that. Let me see. Well, it is definitely ground, super ground, smooth as can be. A lot of you guys know what that means, and I hear you talk about it, so I just want to let you know that. Look at this. A favorite. Clear and simple. That's a Crystal Beach point. Right here's another great point. LaCroix. I'm going to find a good home for that. Great stuff, just worth sharing, perfect artifacts. This one I'm going to just sort of keep in my display because it's really a stellar piece of vein quartz. Just look at this point. I don't know if my focus is doing anything here. Messing around with them doesn't always help. Anyway, look at that point, will you? Crystal, that was from Saponi. And I was just moving along that day. It was so wet. Here's another great point. I make these little ones. It's about the size of my fingernail. Here's one that's about an inch and a quarter. Banded rhyolite from Crosslands. This is from Crosslands too. You see, I went back there, and I had been there 4 times before, but I wanted to go back through after a hailstorm and after some good amount of rain, even though the dirt hadn't been moved and it's pretty solid. Like I say, dirt melts, rocks don't. That was a great point there at Crosslands. I love this point. This favorite style. This one is a Guilford round, but unique. Let me share this with you guys, rock lovers, or you guys that nap. Down here in the bottom, this is actually not flaked. It's all ground off, smooth. They hafted it right in, so that makes that a really unique piece. But Guilfords are pretty old. Here's a full piece completely from Saponi. Unique point because they didn't notch it or anything. They just worked the base off of it here. Were able to haft it in the way they needed to. So that was fun. Fun to find. And a little thicker, but I like that. Here's another point that I was able to pull out of, I forgot where I got this one. I think it was over there, site 2, but it's just a really unique triangle because I didn't find that much that day, but that's relieved off the back, and it's really just a vein quartz that's, with this gray, you can see through it good. That's a unique piece, though. Probably find a home for that. A piece of Guilford, which I love, a Guilford straight base from site 3. That day I just went to check up and make sure on everything, and was able to find that. Didn't find much that day, but I'm following myself, checking on my own errors after 4 times through, so with nothing changed. But that's what happens, you know. Look at this unique point from the plateau. Kidding, right? Every point unique and different. Alright, looking at my time, I gotta wrap this up. This is an incredible point. I say that about them all. No, I don't. This is a Guilford Yuma. Classic example of a Guilford Yuma. What is not to like about that, right? Since that was featured, I won't take a whole lot of time with that, but I absolutely love them. Can't be complaining about that or the finales and the grandstands this week, which are these 2. Look at this one, found first. A couple shout outs out there just to give some good close-ups of these. Unbelievable points. And you can do your own pausing or what have you that you need to see some of this. These will go into my display, of course. Just crazy neat stuff. Love it. Didn't find a whole lot more that day, but some days you find a lot, some days you don't. Yesterday was incredible at the high rise. This added to it. To finish the week on Saturday, look at this thing. And as I finish up here, this was just incredible. Don't know if it's the exposure's really coming in that good. And I know a lot of you love quartz, and you really don't get a lot of quartz where you're from. So I just wanted to give a real good close up of this stuff. Unbelievable. This point here did come from the same place as those two. The high rise. Is that. Just some good stuff there. But this is a real prize, worth going back for yesterday. And that right there, well, plain and simple. Put a stamp on it. That's Indian Trace. Thanks for tuning in.